Hey guys, Adriana Jimenez, joined here with Matchroom's very own Eddie Hearn. Eddie, it's been a year since I got to say that. Matchroom's very own. It's really good to see you. Seriously, I saw you a year ago here in Dallas. It was the Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas fight. So we're back here in Dallas, another show. But before we get on to all those bouts that we have on the stat card, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been an interesting year, hasn't it? We've been flying around the world just avoiding Corona and making sure that boxing continued. I think that Matchroom and listen, other promoters as well have done such a great job to keep the sport going. It would have been very easy for people just to say, "We'll wait," But the last sort of 3 months have been really great, bringing fans back in America. I mean, firstly in San Antonio with I think 16,000 for Canelo Smith, 15,000 in Miami for Canelo Yildirim, 4,000 were allowed on Saturday in Dallas. So it's really good to see people back. In the UK, we don't have any fans yet, so it's been very frustrating. But things look to be on the up. We're talking about Canelo Saunders and maybe having 100% capacity in Dallas, which would be amazing. So yeah, I feel like we're coming through the other side now. So we're in good shape.
And we'll definitely get to that topic in a little bit, but I want to start with obviously what we're here this weekend for. We have the anticipated rematch between Gallo Estrada and Chocolatito. It's been like, 9 years in the making. So we've all been waiting for this rematch. So why was it Eddie Hearn the one to make this fight?
Because I paid the money. That's why. I think sometimes, you get, the smaller guys never really get the credit or the purses that they deserve. Just because they're smaller in size than middleweights and heavyweights doesn't mean they shouldn't be rewarded for putting, their health, sometimes their life on the line in the ring. So when you get a war like Chocolatito Estrada won, it takes an amount of money for both guys to say, yeah, this is the right time. Because you imagine what those guys made in the first fight. I don't know, but it would have been tiny. I doubt it was six figures, right, at that moment in time. So to go on and, achieve what they've achieved, I think it takes time. It's taken a long time, but both have had such tremendous ups and downs, haven't they? The rung beside defeats and losses and knockouts. Chocolatito coming back to win a world title a year ago here in Dallas. Estrada, getting injured, coming back, fighting Quadras. He's been busy as well. And now, for all the fights that I've done, this is one of my favourite fights of all time because I respect the lighter weights, but I also respect the Mexican heritage, even Chocolatito in Nicaragua and what it means to people. And that's the difference. Like, I know that everyone in Nicaragua is tuning in to watch this fight. And I know that everyone in Mexico is tuning in to watch this fight. And obviously I've been lucky enough to be a part of that sort of audience, if you like, through my Canelo link up. And they're educated fight fans. Just like the UK, they're educated fight fans. You can debate, you can discuss. They have knowledge of the heavyweights, the flyweights. Kawaguchi's a light flyweight, So I really think this is a fight, not just for the hardcore, but this is a fight for fight fans. And I hope that non-fight fans watch as well. It's difficult with the smaller weights because you're going to see a fantastic exhibition of boxing and two warriors put it on the line. Very brave, very humble, but it's going to be brutal. I think there was 2,000 punches thrown in the first fight or something like that, so it's going to be all action from start to finish. And when you're selling something, which is what I do, it's a lot easier to sell something when I can sit here now. I know what kind of fight it's going to be. I haven't got to sit there and go, I hope it's good. We know it's going to be good. So that's why I hope everyone tunes in. And, for our platform, DAZN, which is a boxing destination, this is the perfect fight because it's one that everyone's looking forward to.
The first fight was at 108 pounds. Now almost 9 years later, 4 divisions later for Chocolatito, 2 divisions for Gallo. It's 115 pounds. All that experience that you talked about of both of them having. Do you see this 50-50? How difficult is it for each fighter?
I think there's something in Estrada's eyes that say this has been on my mind for 8 years. you know, and that's dangerous. Like when you've had that burning inside you for so long, what depths are you willing to go to win on Saturday? You know, I don't think Estrada looked great against Quadras. You know, did he train properly? It was in a studio. I don't know, you know, but Chocolatito looked great against Yafai. And when you see Chocolatito now, he looks 10 years younger this week than he did a year ago, don't you think? I know he's had a little bit of a short haircut, but he looks great. And I think he's trained with fear because he knows Estrada. He knows what kind of fight it is. So I think a lot comes down to how much at this stage in his career does Chocolatito want this fight. But you know how tough he is. You know he's a warrior, and you know how proud he is. So I know he wants it. But Estrada looks like this is his moment. You know, it's like, I've wanted this for so long. Chocolatito hasn't wanted this for so long. He won the fight. So he's thinking, yeah. But Estrada's like, you know, it means... And I spoke to JC and Zamfa and the team, and they said, like, he's really, you know, from the moment this fight was made, he's been thinking about victory for the whole camp. And but you know how tough Choc... I just can't wait. It's so... Once they get on the inside, you know, which they'll do very early in the fight, it's just going to be non-stop action. And I think it'll go to points. I do. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
It's a tough one. I don't know.
Both guys could go down. You know, I think you know, you saw, I mean, Estrada was hurt against Quadras, you know, in that fight. Yeah. And, you know, Chocolatito has been hurt, of course, got knocked out against Rungvisai. I don't know. I think it's as pure a 50-50 as you could probably ever find.
And this isn't the only rematch. Of course, this Saturday you have Cecilia Brækhus and you have the new undisputed champ in Jessica McCaskill. I've seen them, you know, talking their shit. After the presser yesterday, they both came out through opposite doors and they just kind of met up here like, oh, this happened. And they're like, yeah, I'm ready to kick your ass. Like, I was like, damn, I didn't have my camera rolling. But you see, you can feel it.
Yeah, I did an e-press conference as well, and it was really quite awkward. You know, it's like they're going at each other. And I feel that when you're analysing it, I don't think Jessica has got the credit that she deserves through her whole career. You know, she fought Katie Taylor as a very inexperienced lightweight in London, and she really gave her a tough fight. You know, one of her toughest fights to date. She moved up to light welterweight. She beat the champion. She unified against another champion. She moved up to welterweight. It's not even her weight class, and she beat Cecilia Brækhus, right? And I don't think she's really ever got the credit that she deserves. Cecilia, on the other hand, is kind of like, in denial's the wrong word, but she can't believe she lost that fight. It was really close, like could have gone anyway. But she almost feels offended that Jessica McCaskill beat her, right? And it's just this great dynamic of, you know, Cecilia's basically saying that she didn't lose that night. As far as I'm concerned, I won that fight. So, and Jessica's going, how can you say that? Like, I beat you. You know I won that. So it's backwards and forwards. And I think it's going to be a great fight because I think when we go back to the spite, you know, of Estrada, Cecilia has that now. When she boxed Jessica for the first time, it was friendly. She liked her. She respected her. You know, now she wants to knock her out. You know, I mean, it's very unusual to hear, you know, in a build-up of a female fight, someone saying, I want to knock her out. And, you know, we don't get enough stoppages in women's boxing. I think a big reason for that is the 2-minute rounds as well. But this fight's going to be all action. Like, Brækhus just comes forward, doesn't stop throwing punches. She's got quite an awkward style. She fights on the inside. She fights on the outside. And I really can't wait. This is it for Brækhus. If she loses this fight, it's all over. Her career's done. And I think I asked her that question at the press yesterday. She wouldn't quite give me the same answer. But we have to, you know, say defeat is done for her. And it's a big night for both because, you know, we're looking to match the winner against Katie Taylor. I just think it's another complete 50-50. It really is.
You're also going to be having fireworks at 108 pounds with Hiroto Kiyoguchi. Yeah. I made sure I did my interview sitting down because
I saw him yesterday and I thought to myself, who's that? And then I saw his hat and I was like, is that Vega? He's 4'9". I actually watched one of his fights last night. He's exciting. I mean, he's all action. And because he's so small, he has to get on the inside, and he likes to do it, and he wants to do it quickly. So that fight's going to be fireworks from the first bell. Kyoguchi's a really special talent. You know, there's a wave of some great fighters coming out of Japan at the moment, and he's looking to unify at 108 pounds and then move up to flyweight as well. And I expect a really good war in that fight.
All right. So we cover. Okay, you have a stat card. You also have Raymond Ford, Emma Williams, the French. Suleiman Sissoko. Okay, yeah, I have a little trouble saying that one. So it's a stat card. You know, definitely looking forward to tomorrow night. But I do want to touch up on, of course, when you put the world buzzing again with the Canelo's next fight, Billy Joe Saunders, May 8th. You must be really excited to be able to put this. You have both guys now.
It's a great fight. Great fight. I mean, it was an honour to do the Callum Smith fight. The Yildirim fight was great. Jay Balvin providing the entertainment rather than Yildirim, who I thought was a bit disappointing. But the Saunders fight really, for me, is one of the best fights in boxing. You know, Billy Joe Saunders is a tremendous talent. And this is unquestionably the toughest fight at 168 pounds for Canelo Alvarez. I really believe that. And no disrespect to Caleb Plant. I think he's a tremendous fighter. But I think Billy has the styles and the tools to be as dangerous against Canelo Alvarez as anyone can be at 168. You know, I'm in awe when I watch Canelo Alvarez. He's one of the greatest fighters I've ever witnessed up close. You know, and he's a great person as well. You know, I got to spend some time with him in Miami, and I just love people that love what they do. And I love people that are so determined and focused on what they do. And him and Eddie are just like an amazing team. I get a lot of criticism in the UK now, people saying, oh, you're in love with Canelo. Oh, yeah. But it's infectious. It's exactly the same with Anthony Joshua. You know, when they want something so bad, when they're dedicating their whole life to greatness, it's infectious, you know. And I love being around people like that. So, but at the same time, I also promote Billy Joe Saunders. And, you know, he's even made a few comments just joking around. But my job is to give these guys opportunities. I gave Callum Smith the opportunity to fight the biggest fight in boxing. I've given Billy Joe Saunders the opportunity to fight the biggest fight in boxing. But they're up against the pound-for-pound number one. And he's brilliant. He is brilliant. But Billy Joe Saunders can really fight. And Billy Joe Saunders lifts his level when he knows he's in with a good fighter. You know, you saw him do it against Andy Lee. You saw him do it against David Lemieux. But he's going to have to raise his levels even beyond that to beat Canelo Alvarez. And you know, we're just in the process. We had meetings earlier today, and we've got meetings this afternoon about the venue. You know, it will be Las Vegas or Dallas. They're the two options. And it's a massive event. You know, we have a chance in Dallas to do a full crowd, you know, at the Cowboys, which would be incredible because, like, the atmosphere at San Antonio and Miami was just incredible. And it was like a quarter full, you know. So I really love, I'm blessed to be a part of this Canelo Alvarez journey. And we'll see where it takes us. But first things first, May the 8th, finally we get Cinco de Mayo back. And finally I can promote an event on Cinco de Mayo because, you know, Mexican people really remind me a lot of UK fans as well. You know, they're knowledgeable, they love to party, they love to drink, they love to have a good time, they like to dance. And that's our customers. That's our customers. We like to do the same. So I feel like I was, you know, earlier in the week, I was in San Francisco, in San Jose, and people were coming up to me going, hey, Eddie. And I'm like, and I'm saying, you're a Canelo fan, right? Yeah. And so it's nice to sort of, it's important because it's a bit like the fight this weekend. This is a fight for that audience, those people, you know. So it's good. I feel like we're making moves.
I know that there's talks about Billy Joe Saunders being the one that can complicate the style of Canelo, and people reference back to the Mayweather fight, which was such a long time ago, and he's obviously improved so much. Is that how you see it, that Billy Joe has what it takes to complicate things for him?
He's very tricky. He's very clever. He's very intelligent. He has great ring IQ. Canelo gets a little bit not sort of feels disrespected, but when people talk about the Lara fight, when people talk about, he says that was years ago. Like, what was it, 8 years ago or 7? I'm a completely different fighter now, but he hasn't had to show that against that style for a while. Do you know what I mean? Callum Smith, Kovalev, Danny Jacobs, Yildirim, Golovkin, you know, all of those styles are fairly straightforward. So I do believe him. He has improved so much. but he hasn't had the chance to show those improvements against that specific style. So until we see that on fight night, I guess there will always be people who will say, oh, Trout, Lara, Mayweather, oh, he doesn't like the movement. And Billy will be moving. I mean, he'll be in and out, bang, 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 off, spinning off, you know, and I think he's going to be tricky, you know. I said to Canelo, I've said it before, I said, this is a tough fight. He didn't really agree with me. But, you know, he's a very confident individual, you know. And I think he feels that once he gets hold of Billy Joe Saunders, then, you know, he'll start dominating the fight.
Well, it's no secret that Canelo's been talking about becoming undisputed at 168. If it's not Billy Joe Saunders that is able to stop that goal, that dream, do you even give a fighting chance to Caleb Plant?
I give a fighting chance to everybody because they're all great fighters. You know, Billy Joe Saunders, elite world champion. Caleb Plant, elite world champion. It's just going to take a spectacular performance to beat Canelo Alvarez. Like, I think on 100% Canelo Alvarez against 100% Billy Joe or Caleb Plant, you would always back Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. So can Billy Joe stick in 110% performance and maybe Canelo is under par, or, you know, but right now, like I said, the confidence levels of Canelo Alvarez are through the roof. But Billy is a bit of an enigma. You know, he's the kind of guy that can produce something really special when he needs to. And although he's sometimes a little bit crazy and silly, he's super smart in the ring, super smart. He can see how to beat Canelo. But getting in there and doing it is another thing. But I really think, honestly, I think it's one of the best fights in boxing.
Speaking of some of the best fighters in boxing right now, TEOFIMO Lopez, I know that you guys at Matchroom made a bid to get that fight, and Triller got it, excuse me. Any regrets on not being able to do that fight?
We're kind of at the stage now where we bid the money that we feel represents the fight, the commercial value of the fight. 2 years ago, I would have bid 7 million. Do you know what I mean? Because we were disruptive, Matchroom and DAZN. We were coming into the market. We needed to establish our brand, as Triller are doing now. We had to overpay for fights, and it's brilliant for the fighters. You know, we went for a crazy year or so where we had to make our name, and we did that. Triller are doing the same now. It won't last forever, but while it does, the fighters should enjoy it. They should reap the benefits and the rewards. But we have to just make sure that, you know, I think Top Rank bid 2.3. We bid 3.5. That was our representation of the value of that fight. Triller just came in, and when you're being disruptive, when you're a new platform, you don't pay the right money for a fight. You have to overpay. You have to make a statement. And I think it's great to see him in boxing. I think it's great for boxing to show other platforms and broadcasters that there's lots of interest in boxing. People say boxing's dead. No, it's not. You know, there's so many platforms spending money in boxing. So many new platforms. We're getting approached all the time about other platforms. You know, particularly in the UK, we'd like to get into boxing. You know, and it's hot. Boxing's hot.
Well, now that people's talking about like a possibility of being a free agent, I would assume that you would love to be able to work with them if possible.
TEOFIMO, yeah, oh for sure. I love TEOFIMO. I think he's great. I think he stepped up and he boxed one of the pound for pound greats. Right, I didn't think he should have taken that fight. He beat Commey. I thought the right move here: give him a defense, 2 defenses, build him because he's still not a star. And then put him in with Lomachenko. He went, no, I want it now. And I thought, wow, he ain't going to win that fight. I thought he'd lose every round. How wrong was I? You know, what a great performance. And I think the whole problem here is he was probably told, look, you know, he took short money for the Lomachenko fight, by the way, because he believed he could beat him. But he was probably told, listen, you beat this kid, you've cracked it. You know, you're going to make fortunes. And then that didn't happen. And then, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, hang on. Right. Hold on, you've got to look at the light.
Look at the light, look at the light.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, and it didn't happen, and he was pissed off. So, look, it sounds like he's got horrific problems with Top Rank contractually. If everything I hear is true, I think he'll get out of his contract, to be honest with you. And if he becomes a free agent, we would be extremely interested to make him a significant offer. But he's doing his thing. He's boxing again. You know, Kambosos on Triller. He's making a lot of money. Good luck to TEOFIMO Lopez. And good luck to George Kambosos. You know, you can never knock a fighter for making great money. It's tough game.
I heard that Bob Arum said that if you guys were to bid on the Triller fight, that it would complicate things for the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury. So did things get complicated?
No, I mean it's a frustrating We're in a really good place with Fury Joshua at the moment, you know, and there'll be an announcement in the coming days. Everyone's on board. It was a really bad thing to say, you know, and it was like the thing is with Bob, I respect Bob because what he's achieved in boxing is unbelievable. But unfortunately, Bob doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care what he says, and I don't think he really cares for the fighters that much anymore. And I think the fighters understand that, you know. And I think it's just the case of this is my opinion, and if you don't like it, off you go. And that's not the way to treat great fighters, great champions. People want to feel like superstars. People want to be loved. I know, you know. We've got fighters that they want. It's a bit like Canelo. You know, Canelo right now feels like $1 million. Attention to detail, the ring walks. He feels like a star. They love it. And TEOFIMO Lopez deserves to be treated like a star. Not, that's the money you're getting. If you don't like it, off you go. Someone else can pay it. That's not. And the same with Crawford. Why would I pay this guy? I can buy a new house in Beverly Hills for that kind of money. Wrong thing to say. But you have to. But Bob's speaking his mind and his heart. So you can only respect it. But it's just... it's just a bad look, you know. But like I said, Bob's a legend, fantastic promoter, and he's 89, he's nearly 90, isn't he? So, you know, big respect to him. He's going to do things his way, and I can never knock people that act from the heart.
You say that you guys are close to announcing the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury. How about now? We have a camera.
We've been going around getting all these signatures, and we're really close now. You know, the process is to get everybody on board, get everyone signed up, and then go and complete the venue deal. So we're in the process now of speaking to venues and sites to lock that in. But the ink's nearly dry on that one, so I can't give it to you now, but stand by.
Well, we definitely saw Anthony Joshua. He looked great against his rematch against Andy Ruiz, and he looked even better. We saw a whole different set of skills against Pulev. He has what it takes to take the undefeated out of Tyson Fury then.
I believe so. I believe so. I think that Joshua has the win in this fight. I don't like the energy from Fury at the moment. You know, he's a bit sort of miserable and feels he should have boxed in December, and, you know, pump yourself up. Get ready for the biggest fight in boxing. And I'm really confident in Anthony. He's been working solid from December. I believe he's going to knock Tyson Fury out. I really do. And hopefully we can get that announced, you know, in due course, and we can give you the biggest fight in boxing.
Looking forward to that. I know things are starting to pack up. Last question. We've heard about Devin Haney and Jorge Linares. Is that official? Is that said? Is that close?
Not yet. We have agreed terms with Golden Boy on that fight. We're locking everything up with DAZN. Tremendous fight. The perfect fight for Devin Haney to show everybody he's the best lightweight in the world. And you'll be hearing more news about that one next week.
Is it kind of frustrating to not be able to make also the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, both on DAZN?
But listen, from our side, we're all in on that fight. Ryan Garcia doesn't want to fight Devin Haney. So you have to ask him that question. Golden Boy want him to fight Devin Haney. The WBC ordered him to fight Devin Haney. DAZN want him to fight Devin Haney. There's a load of money to fight Devin Haney, but he doesn't want to do it. So, you know, he had a great win last time against Campbell. He's a great champion, and maybe in the future.
Eddie, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.